We are continuing with Hadith of Hudayfa bin Yaman, who we know was asking the Prophet ﷺ about the signs. And everyone was asking about the good things, and he, radiallahu anhu, asked about the bad things. Okay, and there was signs, some of the signs that the Prophet ﷺ mentioned that we discussed last time. Okay, amongst them was the changes that are going to happen in the leadership of the Arabs specifically. Okay. For example, there'll be leadership with good and then evil, and then good tainted with evil. Okay, and then evil come after that. And he said some people will be standing and calling at the gates of hell. All right. Any preachers who will be preaching at the gates of hell. Okay. And he said they'll be from our people and they'll speak our language. So clearly these are Arabs, and most likely, yeah, and it could be from the main Arabs. The Prophet will be from our people, but the Prophet is talking to Hudayfa. So then maybe not just Quraysh, but just Arabs in general. Okay. And then he gave some advice. He said, stick to the main body, the Jama'ah. Okay. And if there is no such thing, he said, isolate yourself from all these sects. Even if you have to eat the roots of the tree until death overcomes you. All right. So basically, if there is a leader in a Jama'ah, meaning like an actual leadership in the Ummah, but no, we have sects and leaderships of sects, because people will be like, yeah, I know a Jama'ah somewhere down the road. Okay, that's not what it means. This talks about the Khalifa, a leader. Okay, and he said basically isolate yourself from all these sects, because right now it's just groups who have leaders. Each group has a leader, obviously, but these are the sects that the Prophet ﷺ told us. So he said isolate yourself. Now, how many people can isolate themselves? That's a different story. Are we in the fitna? Yes. Do we have a Jama'ah and a leader? Nope. Do we fall under this hadith? Yes. Can we do it? I don't know. It seems like I cannot, and maybe some of you cannot. But we should never distort the hadith or try to find interpretation that suit our lack of commitment to it. That's the first rule we always have to. We've said before, even if we are weak and sinful and not good, we don't change the meaning or the hadith to suit our way. Then we looked at the hadith of Ghuraba, Atuba al-Ghuraba, and then they actually say, who are these strangers? They're the ones who break away from their people for the sake of Allah. And this is also what we read in Surah Al-Kahf every Friday. The young boys who broke away from their community for a sake of Allah and went to the cave. They went to the cave. Okay? Why? For Allah. For the sake of Allah. Because they said that our Lord is one Lord. Okay? And that if we take any other gods beside him, this is a big sin. But for the sake of Tawheed and saving their deen, they basically went to the cave, which symbolizes, in a sense, the hijrah. For Allah's sake. Okay? That's what it symbolizes. Now, so let's go now with the third hadith, Insha'Allah. And that is the hadith of Abu Hurairah, radiallahu anhu, who reports that the Prophet said the Jews were split into 71 sects. Very famous hadith. I think everyone knows it. And my ummah will divide into 73. There's another narration of Auf ibn Malik. The Prophet said the Jews split into 71. One will enter paradise and 70 will enter hell. The Christians split into 72. 71 will enter hell and one will enter paradise. By him in whose hand is my soul. My ummah will split into 73. One will enter paradise and 72 will enter hell. Someone asked, Ya Rasulullah, who will they be? He said, the main body of the Muslims, Al-Jama'ah. Al-Jama'ah. Auf ibn Malik is the one who only one reported hadith, and it is not as acceptable. This is a hadith called Ahad, but usually, and it's not only one. But yeah, it's considered an Ahad hadith, but it's acceptable because it's still authentic. This is the hadith of Firqa Najah, the saved sect. We know, but there's different wordings, right? Let's see the next, the one by Anas ibn Malik, and the meaning is there from all these hadith, obviously. So I should tell you hadith which I heard from Sallallahu. He says, among the signs of owl be the disappearance of knowledge and appearance of ignorance. Okay, before we move on to this, let's discuss the Firqa Najah. Okay, so when you put the hadith of Abu Huraira and Auf ibn Malik together, they're the same hadith, and exactly the same hadith. Okay. Then when we put this hadith with the previous hadith of Ghuraba, this is how you do it. This is how you understand hadith. You don't just take one and says, yeah, you see, it means the main body of the Muslims, meaning what? Jama'ah here doesn't mean like, you know, the people on the streets of, I don't know, country, Muslim country, because in Jama'ah, they don't pray, they don't this, but they're, you know, the moderate Muslims, and everyone else who is more committed is a sect. No, because they say the majority. No. Okay, Jama'ah is not necessary here, the majority. It means, as I said, those who are following a leader, a path, a way that is in line with the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. All right, but the interesting thing here to say is that the Muslims will be the ones who split the most. And splitting, وَمَا تَفَرَّقُ الَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْكِتَابَ إِلَّا مِنْ بَعْدِ مَا جَاءَتْهُمُ الْبَيِّنَةُ, and they will not divide those who have been given the book before you till clear messages come to them. إِنَّ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا مِنْ أَهْلِ الْكِتَابِ الْمُشْرِكِينَ مُنْفَقِينَ حَتَّى تَأْتِيَهُمُ الْبَيِّنَةُ. So the people will split on what? They will split on clarity. Meaning, there's hadith, there's evidence, clear things, and people try to reinterpret it, they deny it, according to what fits their political agenda, their political correctness in the country. Basically, culture. Okay, so anything that links with, obviously, anything that has to do with like taboo issues that are not accepted in that country or that political establishment or the culture, they will be reinterpreted or twisted, as you can see, as they're doing in America and many other places. May Allah protect us. We sin and we sin, but we never ever twist the hadith to fit our sin. Okay? We don't twist the things to fit our sins. So, another point here is that, subhanAllah, you know, Prophet ﷺ is trying to encourage the Muslims, people to follow him. And he gives them the truth, though, that yes, we are the ones who are going to be the most messed up in terms of divisions. Okay. Now here we also know that the Jews and the Christians, there was one sect, even though they're Jews and Christians, one group who followed the true prophets and the true Tawheed, and they will enter paradise. It's not about the label. Oh, this is Muslim, this is Jew, this is Christian. No, they're all Muslims, those sects that will enter paradise, will be saved because they're all in submission. Now, why does Allah call them Jews, Christians, Muslim? Because He has to make the distinction. Okay. But the Jews were followers of Musa, or the prophets of Ben Israel. The Christians are followers of Isa, but they're all Muslims, of course, by submission. And of course, the Muslims are followers of Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and they're Muslims by submission, and they will enter Jannah. So three from these groups, and this is where you see the fairness of Islam. Like, if Islam hates the other religions and wants to make itself the only one, and push everyone down like Christianity. No, they say everyone goes to hell according to Christianity, except right? And the same thing with Jews. No, no, Islam is fair. Islam shows because it's the truth. It's not about our hatred of people or our competition with people or because they're different from a different. It's the only thing that you'll see from these three religions that says that from the other two will go to heaven. The other ones, they're all Christians will say, no, if you don't accept Jesus, that's shirk, you go to you go to hell if you don't believe in the shirk that they believe in. The same thing with the Jews. It's still shirk because they make the rabbis as lords. Right? But look at the fairness of Islam. No. I love this hadith. It's a beautiful hadith that establishes the truth of Islam. Some people don't look at it that way. Like, it's about truth. وَمَا يَنْطِقُ عَنِ الْهَوَى. People accuse Prophet of hating Jews and Christians. And he says that they'll enter paradise. That from these groups, one will enter paradise. And he didn't say okay, couple of people. No, it says, okay, each one will have groups. And the Muslims are the most groups will enter Jahannam. May Allah protect us and make us from those who follow the Jama'ah, the correct Jama'ah. Okay. Let's look at the hadith of Anas ibn Malik radiallahu anhu. I should tell you hadith which I heard from the Prophet ﷺ, and which no one will tell you after me. Heard him say, among the signs of the hour will be the disappearance of knowledge and the appearance of ignorance. Adultery will be prevalent, and the drinking of wine will be common. The number of men will decrease, and the number of women will increase, until there will be 50 women to be looked after by one man. The hadith was reported to the two Sahihs. Okay, so Bukhari and Muslim. All right, so again, signs. The disappearance of knowledge and appearance of ignorance. Indeed, there's a lot. Everyone's got some crazy opinion and some twisting things. They might say and quote and try to, but I think this thing is social media, or part of it connects to how social media is. Everyone has got knowledge today. Everyone is able to preach and say stuff. Bunch of opinions. But if you ask them, okay, what do you think about this hadith, man? Literally, what does this hadith say? Oh, brother, I heard, I saw that one sheikh said this. Okay, as soon as someone says, I saw a sheikh once said this, which sheikh did you see? And there's a problem, honestly. Okay, and not just that, people try to make, not even when Allah called Rasul as like something like of a rocket science, so difficult. Like, you need someone to interpret it. Now, there are certain things that need to be, of course, understood by people qualified, right? You gotta go for a fiqh of zakah. Okay, you got 3 pieces of land, each different sizes. One has water that is natural on it. One, no, you're carrying water to it. Then you got about 150 camels and about 600 sheep and about 200 rams and about 800 cows. Okay, and then you got also about 300 Bitcoin and about 12 cars and about, I don't know, 7 companies. So you'd be like, no, I don't need anyone to tell me how to pay zakah. I just look at the Quran. Yeah, good luck, buddy. Right? No, you need a specialist to tell you how do you pay the zakah. Someone who studied the field, that gathered from the hadith, from everything. But then when you read hadith about, for example, okay, the day of judgment, for example, about the corruption, for example, about women's position and men's position, the hadith, for example, of Asma bint Yazid, okay, or Fatima radiallahu anha, then khalas, you don't try to, no, brother, but the Shaykh said that, women can also go to war. Brother, the Shaykh said that men can also have, this. Akhi, look at the hadith, man. The Prophet is clear. You understand? No interpretation. Like, قال Allah, قال Rasul. It's clear. Very simple. حتى تأتيهم البينة. Till clarity came to them. It's clear. Quran is not like a book of riddles, guys. People try to make it like that. They try to trick you by saying you don't have knowledge. Who are you? And that's what the Christians did. They would not allow people to read the Bible. They always interpret. It was against the laws. You could get killed. You get killed. Imagine that. Especially the Catholic Church has done a lot of interesting things when it comes to restricting knowledge. Okay? So knowledge will disappear and ignorance will appear. Adultery will be prevalent. So people commit a lot of zina. Okay. Why? Well, for many reasons. One of them being that they delay marriage. One of them will be that they delay marriage. Okay, they do not want to get married now. Why? Because they want to do their PhD, man. Have to complete their PhD to show the world that they're doctor. Dr. Sayyida Binti Abdurrahman, and so on. Now she's a doctor. But she's committing zina on campus in the Islamic University. I know you might be like, what are you talking about? I'm dealing with these cases. I'm telling you. Okay, even on the Islamic University campuses, even in Malaysia, IIUM and others, there's dating and there's many problems. Okay. But they want to. MashaAllah, they're completing their PhDs and this and education, and they cannot. How can they get pregnant now? They destroy their lives. So many excuses. But zina is rampant everywhere in the world. It's rampant in Saudi Arabia. It's rampant in Astaghfirullah everywhere. Okay. The Prophet said clearly. I know you get angry and you might be like, oh, Brother Gabriel, why are you talking about? The Prophet is saying that adultery will be prevalent and the drinking of wine will be common. Well, hello. People are drinking like crazy. The number of men will decrease, yep. And I would even add here the number of real men and the number of women will increase. So you can take this literally and figuratively. Okay, that indeed even women who qualify as men has increased. And men are weak. They're not really men. So yeah, the number of men has decreased. So there'll be 50 women to be looked after by one man. 50, imagine that. 50. All right, how are they going to be looked at by one man? Well, yeah, it's a good question. But this is the truth. We don't distort it. Okay. So husband will have, men will have 4 wives. His mom, maybe a few sisters, his aunties, be providing for everyone, taking care of. Bunch of other women that he will maybe be under him. So yeah. Abdullah said, the Prophet ﷺ said just before the hour, there'll be days in which knowledge will disappear and ignorance will appear. And there'll be much killing. Again, guys, are we in that time? Well, let's look. Is there killing these days? A lot. Look what's happening in Palestine, everywhere. Forget about Palestine. Look at America. Only America. Only America is crazy. And there's no war in it, but there's an internal war. The crimes in California, for example, in Chicago, in New York, the gangs. It's a free country. You do whatever you want, but no, people want to kill each other. So yeah, there is a lot of crime and evil. 100%. Right? And then knowledge, yeah, disappear. Ignorance, yeah, everyone's preaching, yeah. So all these things happen. Number of women, yeah, that's increasing. And as I said, at least for sure, real men are disappearing. Okay. So all these signs are like, if you actually think about it, how about divisions? Well, just within our countries, how many sects we have in division. Okay. So yeah, 100%. 100%. Okay, 1 second, please. Just give me a second. I apologize, just I'm on standby for an emergency, so. All right. Here again, share screen. All right. So next hadith is again Hudayfa ibn al-Yaman, who said that the Prophet ﷺ said that Islam will become worn out like clothes are, until there'll be no one who knows what fasting, prayer, charity, and rituals are. Meaning, it's just gonna be worn out. Like it's not gonna have its original state. It will be corrupted. Okay, the Quran will disappear in one night, and no ayah will be left on earth. Imagine that. It's just gonna disappear. Literally, it'll be disappearing. Some groups of old people will be left who will say, "We heard our fathers saying La ilaha illallah," so we repeat it. Sila asked Hudayfa, what will saying La ilaha illallah do for them when they do not know what prayer, fasting, rituals, and charity are? Hudayfa ignored him. Let Sila repeat his question 3 times. Each time he ignored him. Finally he answered, "O Sila, it will save them from hell." And said it 3 times. Allahu Akbar. Look at the power of La ilaha illallah. So here is a lot to be unpacked in this hadith. First of all, can La ilaha illallah alone save someone from hellfire? Maybe yes, can be looked from different angles. In a time of ignorance like that, maybe for those people, it will be the only thing that will save them. Can it save us now? Can I say, for example, I'm not going to fast and do anything. I'm just going to say La ilaha, right? In our time right now, but there's still knowledge now. We know that this is wrong to not pray and not this and not that. And we've been taught there's more responsibility on us right now on our backs because of our availability of knowledge. While in that time of ignorance, they'll not know anything. So can we apply this hadith to say those who don't pray and just deny? And it's like they say, I believe I'm Muslim. But we know that many of the ulama believe that anyone who leaves salah, he's left Islam, right? You know that opinion, obviously. Not the majority, but it's a very valid opinion. But can this hadith refute that opinion? No, because this hadith is regarding those people in that time who, when they will know nothing about fasting, rituals, charity, prayer, they'll know nothing. The only thing they will know is la ilaha illallah. They'll remember hearing it. They'll not even know the meaning. But Hudayfa said that was his opinion. That's his opinion. Not even the opinion of the Prophet. He's just giving his ijtihad. And that sometimes we have to make that distinction too. When a Sahaba gives his ijtihad, does that mean that it's binding? Some say yes, because he could have only heard it from the Prophet, as he's quoting hadith from this Prophet. So you see how we look at hadith from different angles to understand the full thing of it. We cannot just be like, yeah, look at the wording. No, you have to understand, put it against different hadith. So in conclusion, it's for those people. They will be saved by just saying la ilaha illallah. Okay, without praying, without nothing, because they'll know nothing else. For us right now, we don't know anything. Well, yeah, we do. Of course, we do. We know everything about salah. We're taking classes, mashallah. If someone decides to stop praying today and fasting and said, yeah, I just say la ilaha because this hadith says it will save me. Is that enough? No, it's not. Okay, so this is very important. Understand. Also, the hadith indicates that last day knowledge will be taken from the people, and the Quran will disappear from the mushafs, from people's hearts. How? I don't know. But people will be left without knowledge. Only the old people say la ilaha illallah. Okay? They will repeat it and they'll feel close to Allah. There'll be some blessing. So there is blessing in just saying la ilaha illallah. أفضل ذكر لا إله إلا الله. The best dhikr is la ilaha illallah. من كان آخر كلامه لا إله إلا الله دخل الجنة. If you can say as your last words, La ilaha illallah, you'll enter Jannah. Even if you didn't pray or you made sins, well, the appearance of the hadith indicates that maybe if you have deep lessons, if you can say those words when you die, then you'll enter Jannah. The question is, can you say those words when you die? Can you rely on that ability? You want to try? No. That's why you want to do salah and everything to make sure that you have enough good deeds that hopefully that will bless you. Because how many people will be blessed with saying La ilaha illallah when they die? You understand? So, another thing that this reminds me of Eastern Europeans, like Romanians and Albanians and Kosovars, Bosnians, Macedonians, East Bloc, ex-Soviet Union bloc, Turkish influence, but no deen, just atheists, many of them, right? They don't know, like even if you go now, like they don't know anything. They say, yeah, we're Muslim, but they're drinking, they're not praying, not fasting, nothing. But they know to an extent, la ilaha illallah. And I met some of these people. So it's not on the scale of the world yet, but definitely I know there are communities in Eastern Europe who have this problem. They only know la ilaha illallah. They have no clue about prayer. I've seen them. I met some of them. Okay. Knowledge will be taken away from man, and ignorance will increase during the last day. And their ignorance and misguidance will increase until the end. The hour will not come upon anyone who says, Allah, Allah. It will only come upon the most evil of men. As long as Allah is still mentioned, the day of judgment will not come. So this is also now, as we are going through these signs, we trying to also, I'm sure everyone tries to assess, are we in those times or not? based on the previous hadith, we can say that we are in those times. But then again, do you see why it's important to gather all the knowledge together? Because now this one shows us that it's not that time yet, even though some of the signs have been fulfilled. But not all the signs have gone, such as we're all saying Allah, we're still praying. So it means it's not the time yet, because it will only come upon the most evil of men. So some people will sometimes say, find people on Friday saying, yeah, but Qiyamah will happen on Friday as per the hadith. No, it's not, because you're saying Allah. You still have Allah on your tongues. This hadith clearly says that it will not happen except on the most evil of men. Okay? So again, we again put everything together. All the hadith and all the knowledge has to be put together. Okay, if we do not put it together, okay, we cannot understand. We learn to understand this. Very important, guys. Okay, we don't just read this hadith to read them. We read this hadith, we can actually also learn, the fiqh, the usul, to understand the science of hadith and how things are derived and so on and so forth. You never just isolate one thing. You have to put it together. Very important. Okay? Now, all right, let's go to chapter 4. Abdullah ibn Umar, radiallahu anhu, said the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, this is Abdullah ibn Umar, the son of Umar. He said, O Muhajirun, you may be afflicted by 5 things. God forbid that you should live to see them. SubhanAllah. Okay, so he is telling them, God forbid that you'll see them. He says if fornication should become widespread. Okay, we see this. We are those people who see this. You should realize that this has never happened without new diseases befalling the people, which therefore bears never suffered. Well, welcome to the 21st century. Syphilis, gonorrhea, AIDS, herpes, all kinds of stuff, all kinds of diseases. We know, we see. So this applies. We are those people who are seeing it. Let's see what next. What are the other things? If people should begin to cheat in weighing out goods, you should realize this has never happened without drought and famine befalling the people. Okay, and the rulers oppressing them. Okay, this is very important. Do we live in those times where people cheat in business, in goods? Yes. 100%. 100% people cheat. Okay. Next, if people should withhold zakat. If people should withhold zakat. Okay. Yeah, people don't pay zakat today. You should realize this has never happened without the rain being stopped from falling. And were it not for the animals' sake, it would never rain again. SubhanAllah. Yep, 100% there is. That's why if you look at most Muslim countries, they are in areas of low rain. Most Muslim countries are in areas of low rain. It might be that we're not paying zakat properly. I know Malaysia doesn't qualify in Indonesia, but Arab countries are there. Are these things happening? Yes. Okay. And if people could break their covenant with Allah and His Messenger, we should realize that this has never happened without Allah sending an enemy against them to take some of their possessions by force. Wallahi, wallahi, we live in this time. Wallahi, people, they think that Palestine and what's happening now is just a sign of resilience. And no, it's also a sign of punishment, guys. I know it sounds like bad and people are going to be upset. If I were to say this public, the social activists would have my head. But in reality, guys, we are living what this hadith is saying. And then the last but not least, and this is the most apparent, if the leaders do not govern according to the book of Allah, you should realize that this has never happened without Allah making them into groups, making them fight one another. Hello, wake up, wake up and smell the coffee. Exactly where we are. I mean, this hadith here is like, what? Like, how much more do you want? How much more do you want? Honestly, this is it. Let's review. Number one, what is it? Fornication. Is it happening? Yes. Punishment, diseases. Is it happening? Yes. Okay. So not only is there five things, but five signs of those things happening or what will happen when people do that. There's like 10 things actually. Fornication with disease. Yes. Okay. Cheating. Okay. With drought and famine. Yep. Withholding zakah. Yep. No rain. Yep. Um, breaking the covenant of Allah and His Messenger, Islam. Okay. Enemy against us. Yep. And leaders not governing. And it will happen that people break into groups and fight each other. Yep. All these 10 things mentioned are happening clearly. 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 Next hadith. Ali ibn Abi Talib said, the Prophet ﷺ said, if my ummah bears 15 traits, 15 traits, tribulations will befall it. Someone asked, what are they, Ya Rasulullah? Sallallahu alayhi wasallam. He said, when any gains is shared out only amongst the rich. Yep. With no benefit to the poor. You want to give a clear example of that? Oil. Oil in the Muslim countries is part of the ummah. No one has a monopoly over it. You know, I'd get arrested if I were to say this publicly. All right. The oil in these countries is basically belonging to all the Muslim, meaning the person in, the Muslim in, I don't know, Papua New Guinea or something, he has a right to it. The one in Langkawi has a right to it. The one in Zanzibar has right to it. The one in South Africa has right. The one, if he lives in Antarctica, okay, he lives in Antarctica on one of those research villages there, he has a right to it if he's a Muslim. But it's not given. Okay. It's not given. Right? It's only split amongst the royals. Okay. When a trust becomes a means of making a profit. When a trust becomes a means of making a profit. That's crazy, man. You trust someone and it becomes a means of making a profit. May Allah forgive us ever. When paying zakah becomes a burden, people feel hard, like, oh, I gotta pay zakah again. Well, Allah, we live in this time. When a man obeys his wife and disobeys his mother. Wallah, we live in this time. Wallah. And treats his friends kindly while shunning his father. He's good with the boys, but he talks very bad to his father. When voices are raised in the mosque, people argue for like the smallest thing. Wallah, when I go sometimes especially I see it in Canada. When I go back to Canada, they argue like in our mosque. They're like, oh, like 1 minute was late for a comma. And well, they fight. We had in our mosque so many fights, like fist fights, where people are jahil. When the leader of people is the worst of them. Allahu Akbar. 100% are leaders these days. Look at their lifestyle. Right? How many bags did that woman have? The wife of whoever? 5,000 bags. Crazy fitna and this and that. Oh my God. It's just being arrested for corruption and millions stole from the people. When people treat a man with respect because they fear some evil he may do. Yep. When the wine is drunk. Yep. When men wear silk. Yep. When female singers and musical instruments become popular. Yeah. When the last one of this Ummah curses the first one. Allahu Akbar. I'm to give an example of this. I'll give it. They said, then let them expect a red wind, or the earth will swallow them, or they'll be transformed in animals. All right, I want to just quick, I guess, commentary here. Now, okay, like drinking wine is clear, evil is clear, people fearing a person because they'll do evil. Of course, everyone's gonna get like, if they talk, for example, or criticize any one of the leaders or get jailed. Wine is being drunk, we know that. Voices raised in the masjid, we know that. Clear. A man obeying his wife, yep. Well, how? Well, they don't even visit their moms. They just listen to the wife. Wife complains all the time, causes problems. The guy leaves his mom. Yep. Pays the Kaiser burden. Yep. Okay, gain and share amongst the rich. Yep. Trust becomes the means of making a profit. Yes. People cheating. Now, what I want to focus on though is men wear silk. This is really important also I know people are going to get upset, but Malaysians, because a lot of people wear certain clothing that's silk made and men wear it. And they'll say that, well, some ulama have said that this is, this and so. And then some will say, no, it's not natural silk. And are we Ben Israel that we are now trying to find, things to dodge, ways to dodge? So we put the fishnet on Friday and collect it on Sunday. We're trying to trick Allah. Or we'll do like not natural silk. We'll do like, made silk or whatever. No, why? It's this. That's the issue with silk. It's not like for example, some people wear like watches that are made out of like golden watches, or jewelry, and some is just like looks like gold. It's like blown with gold. No, the thing is not whether it's real gold or not real gold, even though that makes difference, but it's also the look of it, right? You understand? So men wear silk today, yep. Ties, silk ties, these silk dresses, the traditional dresses, a lot. When female singers and musical instruments become popular, why did it say female? Why not just in general? instruments and singers? Well, because men can sing. Instruments are not permissible, but men can sing. Men even will dance sometimes for some sort of entertainment, like a war dance that we see. Aisha radiallahu anha was looking at, and the Prophet allowed her to look, where the Abyssinians were dancing. Okay? So men can do those things. War dance is not like some weird thing, you know. But when women start dancing, it's different than when a man dances. Okay? When women sings and she's in the spotlight, you can draw from here also the concept of the spotlight. Okay? A man will be in the spot. He'll give lectures. He might do a war dance. He might give whatever. He might sing nasheed. It's not permissible for women. Different. Why? Because they're women. Because when she is in the middle, everyone watches her. Trust me, it's not good. And then it says, when the last of this ummah cursed the first one. It's an important one. And I'll end with this, and I'll have to leave a little bit early. Well, I'll give you an example of that, because this is quite literal. Now we are in the last times, word from the akhirin. Who's the awwaleen? Al-awwaleen are the Sahaba, the Salaf. Okay, the Salaf. In many countries, they consider them anyone who basically, I don't, okay. Anyone who is basically aligned with this methodology of Salafi and Sahaba, they'll curse them as the dogs of hell. These Wahhabis, these people have to be taken out. I've heard, for example, in Chechnya, you know, they were like making the niqabi women take out their niqab. In public television, man. Imagine that on public TV. Okay. Calling these people terrorists, cursing anyone who tries to follow the Sunnah based on how the Sahaba understood it. Being cursed, saying it's not from Islam. Insane. So yeah, we're living those times. 100%. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us. All right, I'm going to have to leave earlier today. We'll stop here at the hadith of Ali ibn Abi Talib, the second one. The Prophet led us in prayer, Salat al-Fajr. Okay, we'll continue, Insha'Allah, from here. Make dua for me. I'm in the hospital and my wife is giving birth any moment, Insha'Allah. All right, guys. Barakallahu fikum. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alaikum salam.
Salam.